Okay, guys, back by popular demand, we're going to do some hamstrings today. Hamstrings may not seem like the main muscle group for today, but I promise you'll feel them after today. We are starting standing, though. It's the one compensation that we have for this class. But, yeah, it's kind of the same just as usual. We'll start with core. Core will be a pretty big burnout. We'll go into some tabletop sequences, and then we'll be laying down on the ground. We're not standing up just for the warm-up today. But yeah, if anything does get too difficult, you're more than welcome to take a break. You're more than welcome to make a modification. If you need a modification, you don't know of one, feel free to ask me. Promise I'm more than willing to think of one for you. But yeah, we'll go ahead and get started just with those squat reaches. Deep breath in, reach the fingertips. Exhale, lower. If you have a watch, don't forget to start it. Really focusing on channeling that breath, channeling some length, bringing awareness to all the major muscle groups of your body here. Just prepare yourself for today's class. Figure out if you need to take today slow or if you want to push yourself a little bit. Last deep breath in. We're going to hold on this reach, stepping back with that right foot. Tuck it into the elbow pit, armpit of your left knee, and just do a little side bend for me. Inhale, let's come back through center. We'll do the same thing for the other side. Left knee goes into the right knee pit. There's gotta be a name for that. Like the knee armpit. Trademark. What? Knee pit. I like it. I like it a lot. Deep breath in, back through center one more time, each side. Really feel that stretch. Get a little bit deeper bend through the knees. Come back through center, last one. And center, holding up straight. We're gonna open up our arms into that T and twist. Back through center, reach, T and twist. Length and mobility here. Warm up those shoulders. Maybe you add in a wrist roll if that feels good for you. Just preparing for the tabletop sequence. Another deep breath in, hold through center. We're gonna walk our feet a little bit wider. We're gonna lower down, squat that Y. Exhale, lift, mountain pose. Squat Y, reach, lift back up, mountain pose. Taking these movements as slow as you need to. Again, it's just the warm up. Pressing through the quads, pressing through the glutes. See if you can drop those hips a little bit further back. Last one, hold that Y. We're gonna lift all the way up. Hinge at the hips, give me one good morning. Lifting back up, pull those elbows into your sides. Stretch back out. Good morning. Lift, pull the elbows in. Just feeling a little bit of a stretch through those hamstrings on that good morning, really lengthening through the backs of our legs. Opening up through the shoulders as we pull those elbows in, squeezing the back muscles. Warming up the major muscle groups. Last one, deep breath in, squeeze the elbows, reaching back up, folding all the way over those legs, coming into a forward fold. Go ahead and just grab either side of your elbow. We'll swing side to side, lengthen through the spine. One deep breath in. Exhale, we're gonna walk those hands a little bit further forward, finding that high plank. Feel free to modify this movement, but what we're gonna do is a high plank to a down dog. If you wanna add something in, you can add an opposite ankle tap, or you can just stick to the high plank down dog flow. Really focusing on mobility through those shoulders, squeeze through the core, press through the back. Use that breath. Couple more, then we'll get into core. Last one, either side. And drop those knees all the way down. We're gonna meet back on that seated position. Feel free to take a quick breather, a little break before we get into the core segment. When we reach back for core, we're gonna set the ball behind our back. It's just gonna be used for bracing. One thing I do want to caution is don't use the ball to propel yourself forward as we get into those C-curve crunches. The ball is literally just there to support you here. It's like a really good friend. We like the ball for now. We won't later, but we do for now. All right, when you find that comfortable C-curve position, our heels are gonna be kind of like in front of our glutes here, behind, they're facing the glutes, about hip width apart. We're gonna reach our arms forward. We're gonna slowly drop down, feeling our pelvic floor kind of curl. We're gonna lift all the way back up. Again, not using that ball to bounce forward, but we're just looking for a little bit of core engagement here before we add on. Use that breath. Reach those fingertips. Be sure that your core is not turning off as you push back. You should feel your abdominals working the entire time here. If you start to feel comfortable, you can add an alternating leg lift as you get to the top. Drive your knee up to your chest, lower back down. Really getting those abdominals to work. Slowing it down. Finding a tempo that feels good to you. You've got it. 3, 2, 1. Coming to that left leg, we're gonna lift it all the way up. Extend and lower. Rebend. Extend. So we're isolating that left leg. Right leg's gonna stay down on the ground for now. Don't worry, we will get to the right leg at some point. Really trying to keep your weight even here. It's almost like you're bringing your ribs to your hips or vice versa. You've got 10 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Hold that knee bent. We're gonna pulse it up. You've got it. You might feel a little bit of activation through your hip flexors here. That's okay. Just try to keep your core dominant. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Extend that leg all the way. We're gonna lift and lower. Final burn on the left side. You've got it. A little bit more action through the hips here. Strengthening the hip flexors. Keep that core engaged. You're here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop that leg down. We'll get straight into the right side. Curl the right leg in, extend. Curl in, extend. Finding a happy tempo. We have a little bit of a break after this. Then we'll have a final burn for core, and then core is completely done. You don't have to worry about it anymore. Throughout this, try activating your lower abdominals more. So you're lifting up the pelvic floor a little bit extra if you are feeling your upper core working a little bit harder. Couple more. You're here for 3, 2. Last one, we pulse it up and up and up. Keep breathing. Keep that activation. Almost done. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold that curl. We extend and lift. slow it down if you need to. You might decrease your range of motion if that's what keeps your muscles on. Just don't give up on yourself here. We have 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop that leg down. Find a nice butterfly position. And just give your core a little bit of a break. Feel free to rock side to side. Also stretching those hips because they did put in a little bit of work. Alrighty, another deep breath in. If you need some water, go ahead and get a drink. But we're going to lower all the way down onto our back. Vertebra by vertebra, lift those legs up. Find that reverse tabletop position. We're going to place that ball between our knees for the last little bit of our core segment today. All we're doing is we're going to pulse the ball in. So waking up those inner thighs. Be sure to check that there's no tunnel between your lower back and the mat. You want to lift your pelvic floor up and in. Bring those hips to your ribs and just press the ball. Couple more. 5 more seconds. 2, 1. We're going to extend the legs, straighten them out, and re-bend. Extend and re-bend. If this is difficult for you, you can always do a toe tap. Drop the legs down, keep the knees bent, lift it back up. Either way, you're still activating through the lower abdominals. Double check that there's no space between your lower back and the mat. You should be able to feel your spine imprinting on the floor. Couple more. 3, 2, 1. Adding on. Feel free to add a hip lift as you bend those knees and come back up. If you're uncomfortable with the hip lift at the top, you can do a crunch instead. Whatever modification you need, we're really waking up the core today. Couple more. 3, 2, last 1. Straighten those legs all the way above you. We're going to take the ball in our hands now. No need to press them with the inner thighs. We're just going to do a little crunch. Reach for those toes. Lower back down. Crunch and reach. Lower back down. If you think this is too easy, that's okay. We will be adding on. Don't you worry. We're here for 5, 4. Reach for those toes a little bit higher if you can. 2, 1. We hold at the top and we pulse it out for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. We're going to drop those legs back down to a tabletop position. I'm going to show you the modified version of the next exercise first, and then we'll add on a little bit from there. We're going to alternate lifting each leg up, crunch up, and we're going to take that ball, switch hands behind the leg. So just alternate, lift, and cross that ball over. Using that breath, giving yourself a nice break if you need to. If this is feeling way too easy for you and you want a little bit more of a challenge, extend those legs all the way and just alternate with those extended scissor kicked legs, holding in that crunch. If you need to, you can always drop your head down to the mat if you have too much strain in your neck here and your head's too heavy, because everybody who does Pilates has a huge brain. You're here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're going to hold in that scissor kicked leg position. We're going to roll the ball up the leg, roll the ball back down, switch legs. Roll up, Roll down, switch legs. Last little burner. You've got this. 3, 2, 1. Drop those legs. Give your knees a nice little hug. Rock side to side. Core is done. Congrats. Take a break, get a drink, do what you need to do. And we'll meet back for the tabletop segment. Isn't core so much fun? Have to do it in the beginning of class so everybody feels it for the rest of the class. All right, that was a decent break. We're going to be back in that tabletop position. Shoulders are going to be stacked over the heels of our palms. Our hips are going to be stacked over our knees. We're going to start with the left side of our body, so I want you to take that ball, and we're just going to place it between our calf and our hamstrings. This is why our hamstrings are going to be burning quite a bit today, just because they're staying active, holding the ball here this entire time. We're going to keep it quick and simple and just do some kickbacks. So some donkey kickbacks to lift that leg and lower. Lift and lower. You can keep those toes pointed, or you can flex your foot if that feels better for you. Just make sure you're having an even weight here. Don't lose the stacking of your shoulders over your wrists. You don't want to push yourself too far forward or too far back, because that's going to constrict your range of motion. Do be sure that you're using those glutes to lift your leg up. We're not activating through the hips. We're activating through those back glutes, the maximus. Your core should still be engaged here, keeping you upright. That's a secondary muscle. Really paying attention to our primary working muscles. About one more. This last one, we're going to hold that leg up, point those toes, and we're just going to pulse. We're here for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Keep that leg up, flex those toes. We're going to do a hamstring pulse. Bring that calf closer to your hamstring and let go. Close to your hamstring and let go. We're here for 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go ahead and drop that leg down. Wasn't so bad. We're going to go straight into those fire hydrants. So we're lifting our legs to the side and lower back down. Lift to the side and lower. You might feel the activation in your glute switch over to the medius muscle, so the side of our glute. That's totally okay. You might even feel a little bit more activation through your stabilizing right glute. I know I do every single time that we do a series like this. So if you do, that's okay as well. We're here for 5, 4, 3, 2. Last one. We're just going to pulse up. Point those toes. We pulse for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Keep that leg lifted. Flex the foot. And we do that hamstring pulse for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're not done yet. We have a hydrant to donkey kick combo. Again, you can keep that foot flexed, or you can point those toes. Just pay attention to the shift and the engagement of the glutes. You'll have the side glute activate, and then you'll have the back glute activate. 15 more seconds. You've got it. For 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop that leg all the way down. Go ahead and find that seated position. Reach those arms up and overhead. Give yourself a nice break. Nice little stretch. Roll out those wrists if you need to. Before we get to the second half of the left side. Yes, there is more for the left side, but I promise it's fun. We're going to lower all the way back down. This does add a little bit of core, this next movement, but that's okay. We're prepared for it. We're going to bring that left knee to our left elbow, send it back. Left knee to right elbow, send it back. So you should be feeling the core. If you want to increase the intensity, you can lift through your right leg, or you can keep in that tabletop position. You will be feeling your right quad. So if you want to add a little bit more leg, that's okay. Couple more, you've got it. 3, 2, use that core. Last one. Drop the leg down. We're going to box out with our left arm, drop down to the right forearm. Now we're going to do is kick. We're going to find an attitude position, which is basically just externally rotating your knee. Stack your left ankle on top of your right ankle and lift up. Now we're getting into the glute minimus. Just hitting every part of our glutes. If your wrist does start to feel a little bit more pressure than normal, you can always ball out your left hand into a fist. You've got it. For 3, 2, 1. Point that foot. We pulse for up. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Keep that leg lifted. Flex your foot. Hamstring pulse for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're going straight into the next exercise. Bring your knee to your elbow and kick back. Knee to elbow, kick back. Keeping your inner thigh parallel to the floor as much as you can. We're here for 6, 5, 4, 3, squeeze the ball, 2, 1. If you haven't guessed already, we're in those pulses. Bring that knee to your elbow. We pulse for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Keep that leg lifted. Flex the toes. We pulse the hamstrings for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop that leg down. Feel free to shake the hips out. You can grab that ball and just roll it forward into a nice child pose and rock side to side. A little bit of a stretch for those wrists if you need to. Get a drink of water, take a bit of a break, and we'll meet back on that right side. All right, coming up through center. We're gonna again take that ball and just place it between our right calf and our right hamstring. Feel free to ball up those fists if your wrists are starting to bother you. You can also take those blocks, place them under your forearms, and hold in a tabletop position like this. Whatever option feels comfortable for you. Just make sure shoulders are still stacked over your wrists here. We're gonna go straight into those donkey kickbacks, lifting the right leg and lower, lifting through that glute max. So it's the big muscle on our glutes. You should be able to feel it. We're tucking our pelvic floor up and in. Press through your palms. Don't let your shoulders sink. Trying to keep your line of vision a little bit over the top of your mat. You don't want to tuck the chin too hard, but you don't want to lift the head too high. Balancing that wine glass, holding that grapefruit, whatever analogy you need. Couple more. Just make sure that weight is even. Press through your left shin. 3, 2, last one. Point those toes. We pulse for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You guessed it. Flex the foot. We hamstring pulse for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Going straight into those fire hydrants, lifting to the side. Activate through the glute medius muscle. Lift and lower. Don't forget about your breath. Check in with your core. Are you still braced? Only thing that we want moving here is that leg. Don't let your body shift side to side. Keep your weight even. You've got this. Over halfway done. We're here for 3, 2, 1. You've guessed it. Hold it lifted. We pulse for 8, 7. Squeeze the glutes. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Leg stays lifted. Flex the foot. Hamstring pulse for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Into our combo. Donkey kick to fire hydrant. Then we have a little bit of a break. Donkey kick to fire hydrant. Check in with your mind-to-muscle connection. We're here for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. Drop the leg down. Feel free to take a roll back, interlace overhead. Whatever you need. Roll out those wrists. Just take a break. And then we'll get to that next segment that we all loved so much. I can tell. About 5 more seconds if you need a quick drink of water. We'll meet back for those knee taps. So we're still in that tabletop position here. You have that option to just bring the knee to either elbow if you want to stay tabletop, low impact. Or if you want to increase the intensity, go ahead and pick up that left leg as you cross the knee to the elbow. We're here for 4, 3, 2, last one, either side, and drop it all the way down. We're going to lower down onto our left forearm this time, boxing out through our right arm. Finding that attitude position, ankle stacked over ankle here. Externally rotate that knee. Our goal is to have that inner thigh parallel to the floor as we lift the leg all the way up. Lift and lower. Squeezing that ball still. Don't let the chest drop. So we don't want to sink into our scapula here. We want to stay lifted all the way. Getting into that glute minimus, which is just another smaller muscle in the glutes towards the side. You've got it. Be sure you're not dropping the neck. You're also not looking too far up. We're here for 3, 2, 1. Point those toes. We pulse for up. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Flex the foot. Hamstring pulse for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Straight into the other move. Knee to elbow. Kick back. Core still stays engaged. Everything is lifted. Knee to elbow. Kick back. The only thing we want to be moving here is that leg. How still can you be? Can you lift your leg a little bit higher? How hard do you want to push yourself here? We're here for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. We're in for those pulses. Drive that knee in for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Leg stays lifted. Flex that foot. Hamstring pulse for 8, 7. Almost done, guys. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Dropping it all the way down. Doing whatever stretch you need to. We made it through. Just have the laying down portion. And then we go straight into those stretches. Only a quarter of class left. Get a drink of water. Stretch out whatever you need to stretch out. Say a prayer for those hamstrings tomorrow. Tap out those glutes if you need to. Whew. When you're ready, we're all the way down on our stomachs. We're going to place the ball between our ankles. We're going to lower all the way down. We have more hamstring stuff, in case you were wondering. This is where we're definitely going to feel that muscle activate a lot. If you don't, check in with that activation. Maybe you need a modification here. We're going to rest our forehead on our forearms because we are so tired. All we're doing, lift the legs up, little hamstring curl, and lower. Not too bad. We're pressing our pelvis into the mat. Should almost feel like you're pulling your belly button up, but you're squeezing through the hamstrings and the glutes right now. Lift and lower. You might need to part those knees a little bit wider if you feel any friction here. For 3 more. 2, 1. Extend those legs all the way out. We're going to get into a bit more glute activation. So we're lifting the legs straight up. Press the pelvis into the floor and lower. Really making sure we're paying attention to that muscle activation. We're doing a combo movement next. So we want to be sure that we just know what that feeling is supposed to be like, isolating it into each muscle group before we connect it all together. Squeeze through those glutes. We're here for 4, 3, 2, 1. We're gonna go straight into a hamstring curl and add that lift. So press through those glutes, drop it back down. Hamstring curl to a frog pulse. Breathing through this, feeling those muscles engage. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Last one, we're going to lift all the way up into that frog pulse and just pulse it out for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold that hamstring curl. We're going to pulse the ball between the ankles for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Last segment here. Straighten those legs all the way out. Lift through the glutes. We pulse between the ankles again for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Dropping it all back down to the floor. Shake those hips out if you need to. That was all for the workout today. We're going to get into some stretching whenever you're ready. Feel free to just take a little bit of a break, a little bit of a breather, get some water, do what you got to do before we hit the next part of today's class. Fair warning, if you do need to stand up, I believe in you. Weebles wobble, but they don't fall down. Whatever stretch you got to do. About 10 more seconds. We'll meet back up here. All right, let's find that tabletop position one last time, but for fun stuff this time around. Go ahead and kick your left leg out, straightening it all the way, kind of like a kickstand on a bike. We're going to do some thread throughs, so lifting your left arm up, opening, expanding through the chest, length through those fingertips. Exhale, thread through. We're going to hold here in a static stretch for a little bit, and then we'll get into a more of a flow mobility type of stretch. Just be sure you're trying to find length through your inner thighs, opening up through the chest. Deep breath in. Let's open through the chest, reach through the arm. Exhale, thread through. We're going to speed it up a little bit here. Hold for one breath, then lift and thread. Hold for one breath and lift and thread. Last one, just lift, really reach and close it all the way down. We're going to step that left foot to the outside of our left hand, finding this low little lunge here. Feel free to hold here. You can open up, roll to the outside of your left foot, and press that knee outward. I've never heard this song before in my entire life. That really threw me off. Anyways, if you couldn't tell, this is not my playlist. When you're ready, we'll walk that foot to the middle of our mat just to do a straightening and bending flow. Bend through that front knee and straighten it all the way out. If you want, you can lift your toes up to the ceiling. That's going to put that stretch more into your calf. But if you want more of a hamstring stretch, go ahead and leave those toes all the way on the mat. We're going to bend and straighten. If you want to hold with that straight leg, that's totally okay. But if you want to take the flow option, that's what I will be doing. Totally up to you. Whatever your body needs right now. Just listening to what your body has to tell you. We'll take another deep breath. Go ahead and hold with that bent knee. Heel toe your foot to the right side of your mat. And we're going to gently fall into that pigeon stretch. Give those hips a little bit of love today because they did work quite a bit. Whether we know it or not, I'm sure we'll know it tomorrow. Be sure that your hips are parallel to the floor beneath you and the wall in front of you. You don't want to rock side to side here. You want to focus that stretch into your rear glute and your hip. As you adjust more to this stretch, you can always walk your hands a little bit further, trying to keep your back as straight as possible. Okay, let's take another deep breath in, walking those hands all the way back up. Curl the toes, underneath of you. And we'll press back into that tabletop position. Take that right foot, kickstand out. We're repeating the same thing, but for the other side. So again, we want to feel that lengthening, that stretching through the inner thigh. We're going to reach that right arm all the way up, expand through the chest, length through those fingertips, and thread through. Deep breath in, we reach. And thread through. Feel free to hold at any point in this stretch where you feel tension through those muscles. And just hold until you feel that release. Last one, we'll thread through and hold. Oh my God, Sarah, I love your nails. Sorry, that was like the only thing I could see from right here. One last deep breath in. We reach all the way up, expand through the chest. And block out those hands completely. We're gonna take that right foot, step it to the outside of our right hand. We're gonna hold here. And if you feel comfortable, go ahead and roll onto the outside of your right foot and press that knee. Another deep breath in. We'll come back through center. Walk that foot to the middle of the mat. We'll go back to that straighten and bending flow. Again, option to lift those toes all the way up or keep them planted on the ground. Just depends on where you need that stretch. Last one, we'll rebend that knee and heel toe our foot to the left side of the mat. Gently lower down into that pigeon pose. Again, hips are gonna stay squared out to the floor beneath you and the wall in front of you. We're not trying to hollow out our lower back, but if you do feel like you'd like to increase the stretch, go ahead and walk those hands a little bit further forward. Another deep breath in. We'll come all the way up. We're going to roll on to that right glute. We're going to shimmy in to cross-seated position. Reach those arms up and overhead, length through the fingertips, interlace the palms, and press them up to the ceiling. Taking little side bends. Keep that chest lifted. Don't fall forward unless it feels good. Whatever your body needs right now, that is what we are listening to. One last press through center. Deep breath in. Find that length. Exhale. We'll roll those wrists all the way down. We're going to take that right arm, lift it up overhead, gently lower down. You can straighten that hand all the way, or that arm all the way if you want. And as you slowly start to adjust to the stretch, you can lower all the way down onto that forearm. Just keep that chest lifted as much as you can. Take one deep breath in, length through those fingertips. Exhale, we'll press up. And we'll windmill all the way over to the other side. Gotcha. LOL. So again, the same stretch. Try to keep that chest lifted. Length through the fingertips. Trying to stretch through the left side of our body. Take a deep breath in. And we'll press up. Do the same thing again. And we'll windmill all the way over. Last time, lift. and windmill. All the way back up through center, interlacing those hands behind us. Lift through the chest, roll out the neck. One final stretch. Thank yourself for showing up today, doing something good for your mind and your body. You can add a little hinge forward if that feels good to you. We'll meet all the way back through center. Feel free to stay and stretch, but that's all I've got for you guys today. We went a little bit over. Thank you all so much for coming, and see you all again next week. Other than that, have a good night. Good luck with your hamstrings. Oh my